Good morning and welcome to Krista So Crafty. I'm really happy that you're here with me. My name is Krista and today I'm going to show you how to make this really cute Mary, Joseph, and baby Jesus little ornament. It's all made out of little Jenga blocks and some scrap material, some jute, and some little wooden bead things that I have. This is a fun little project that I think you're going to enjoy, so let's just get right into it. The supplies you're going to need to make this craft are 3 little pieces of material. Now these are like 4x4, kind of 4x5, just scrap material. You will need 2 Jenga blocks. And what I did is I just cut one down by, what, 1/4 inch, something like that, just so that the one block was shorter than the other. I also have 2 of these little wooden egg things. I'm going to use them as the heads. And so if you put them on so that the point is at the back, you don't even see it. But if you don't have that, you could absolutely use like a little wooden bead or any type of a bead. I'm also going to use one of these wooden, I think it's like a clothespin. Anyways, I'm going to use one of these. This is going to be the body. If you don't have that, you could use just something that's kind of long and skinny in that shape. Most of this is going to be covered anyways. It's just going to be this part up here will be, baby Jesus' head. You're also going to need 2 things of twine. One will be for the hanger up here, and then one will be to wrap around like that. And that's it. That's all you need for supplies. No paint or nothing else. Of course, you're going to need some glue. I'm going to use tacky glue, and I'm going to use my Art Minds glue gun. But other than that, you might need a pair of scissors. So I have a pair of scissors here. I have a video showing how I made this little case for my scissors. It's wonderful because you can pop them in here and take them with you wherever you go. I have a smaller version as well. And again, it's wonderful because then you can put them in there and then the points of the scissors do not stab into anything. They're protected. And they're protecting whatever else is in the bag with the scissors. Anyways, so this is what I'm also going to use, a pair of scissors. So the first thing we're going to do is to take and glue the heads onto the bodies, so to speak. So I'm just going to move these out of the way and bring in the heads. I'm going to use both a combination of the tacky glue and the hot glue. I just like using the combination because, as I've said before in other videos, the wet glue will dry eventually, but hot glue will dry right away. And it's the hot glue that's going to hold the piece in place so that it's not going to slide around. Because if you just use the wet glue and put this on, you got to sit here and hold it until it's set. But with the hot glue method, like this, you can just pop that on. Now, when I'm using these little eggs, so I'm just going to kind of point them so that the point is at the back, like that. And the hot glue is going to allow it to stick right away, and then the wet glue will stick eventually. So I'm just going to set that back there. Put a little bit of hot glue in the center here. And again, pop that on there the way I would like it to be, just like that. And hold it for a second. And now those are ready to go. Our next step, as I'm going to just let those sit and kind of set up for a minute or two, is I'm going to take this blue material. Now you can use whatever material you want. I think this is from my husband's old shirts, actually. So I'm just going to use that, and I'll probably cut this down because all I'm going to do is fold it over. I'm going to fold this not quite in half, maybe about 3/4, so that there's a nice edge up on the top here. And then what I'm going to do, and I have way too much material, I'm probably just going to cut this right about there. I just grabbed a scrap of material out of my scrap bin to use for this. So again, I'm just going to wrap that down like this and put this on here like this, and we will glue it. Don't worry about that. But I'm just kind of getting it set. So I like to bring these ones down and kind of around the head and to leave an opening for the face. And of course, we're not going to put any eyes or anything. There we go, just like that. So now that I have that kind of set, I am going to open this side up, and I'm just going to put a little dab of glue here. Oops, and of course it moved. Just like that, and push it in. And bring this around. Put a little dab of glue on the other side of that body, and bring this down. This just kind of makes like a little hood, if you want, around the face. Okay, and then I'm going to fold this side in this way. Okay, so I'm just trimming that up a little bit. And again, I'm going to open this up. And I'm going to put some glue down here. Like that. And then tuck that under. It's just fiddling around, right? That's all it is. And then we'll fold this side up over this way. Oops, we better fold the bottom in first. Like that. So I'm going to leave this long because I'm going to fold this up and around the back, and I'll glue it on the back. But see how that just made like a little baby that's been swaddled? All right, so let's get this in here. Get some hot glue on here. And then just fold this up and around. Watch that glue. Like that. There we go. And there's our little baby Jesus all swaddled up. Simple as that. So we're going to set that aside, and we'll bring these guys in. And now we need to make the little head pieces. I have two different colors of the blue fabric, and this is what we're going to use for their head pieces. I'm going to fold this in half, and we're just going to bring it over and have a look. So basically I want this to come down a little bit longer than a halfway mark. Make sure that that's up and around, and I think that's going to be just fine. So now that I have this where I want it, I'm going to hold that in place. I'm just going to lift this up on this side, that back over there. I'm just going to put some glue here and make sure this is laying down the way I want it. And I'm lining up the front of the fabric, the fold of the fabric, right to the edge of the front edge of that block. And press that in place. And then I can lift this up now, and I'm going to put just a little dot on the top of the head and bring that around and make sure I have it where I want it. Perfect, just like that. And then we'll bring up this side. And you see I'm not using a whole lot of glue, just enough to be able to have this stick. And there we go. There is the front of our Mary. So I have it so that the woman is shorter. And then I'm going to trim some of this off so that I can kind of tuck it in behind her. There we go. What I like to do is fold the headpiece down first, make sure it's not being pulled, that it didn't unstick the glue. So fold down the center, and I like to put a little tiny bit of glue right there, and then just fold this down and press it in. Of course, there's layers of material, so I'm going to put another dab of glue there. And that'll just help to hold that in place. And then we can fold this in and light in, and it'll be all done. And we don't really need to worry about the edge being raw material. If you're concerned, you can absolutely fold it over. So let's do this side first. We'll glue this side down. And don't pull it tight. I'm just going to put a little glue in that little fold there. And I will fold this over a little bit. And I'm just going to finger press it. Bring this up. Put a little glue there and fold that over. And like this, another little bit of glue. And now when we go to stick that down, there's not going to be a raw edge there. But like I said, I mean, really, it's not going to matter because you're not going to be pulling on it or anything, so that it's not going to come out. So there's our Mary. And I'm going to repeat the exact same process for Joseph. So I'm just going to speed this up and I will meet you back here when we are ready to move on. There is our Joseph. So everything's slowly starting to come together here. It's going to go together like that. So we also need to have some little, I put some little halo type things on the top. So all I'm going to do is take one of these strings and I'm just going to cut 2 little pieces about that big. So these are probably what, 1.5 inches-ish. And I'm just going to take and I'm going to circle them around, put a little bit of glue. Be very careful on this part. Put a little bit of glue and make a circle. And then I just kind of roll it together. Make it big enough so that it can sit up on top of the head. And I'll do the exact same thing with this one. Like this. Just a little bit of glue. Don't need much at all. And bring it together. And try not to burn your fingers. And there we have our 2 little halo. I'm just going to bring this in and I'm going to put that join. See how it's got a little bit of a glue spot there? I'm just going to put that at the back so you're not really going to see it. So put that on top of the head where you want it. Put a little bit of glue at the back and put that in place like that. And I'll trim up those little ends here, these little flyaways. Okay, and then I am going to put just a tap, just a little tiny bit of glue in the front just to hold that down because we don't want it moving around. There we go. Just like that. And we're going to repeat that with this one here. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of that and lay that down and just put that in place. Got a little flyaway here. And then we'll just put a little tiny bit on the front just to hold that down. Just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. There we go. Got glue on his face. There we go. There we go. So those 2 are now ready. And now we need to glue these 2 together. So what I do is just put some glue along the short block, which is her, which is Mary, like that. Set them on the table and then push them together. Like that, so that they're even. Hold them together for just a second to make sure that glue is going to set. Like that. And then we can bring in our baby Jesus and we're going to put some glue along the back. And just lay this down where you want it. I kind of just did it on an angle like that. Make it look like, you know, they're holding on to the baby. Like that. And then we'll take the longer of the jute that we have here. Just going to cut that off. And I'm just going to take and wrap this around. I'm going to start at the back. Like that. Put a little bit of glue. So I'm putting the jute pretty much in the middle of the bodies of the ornament. Like this. And we'll wrap this jute around, you know, 1 or 2, couple times. And then we can just bring it around. I'm just going to bring in a little bit of glue and glue that in place. There we go. I want my ornament to hang. I'm going to put a hanger in between. I'm just going to tie a knot in the end of this jute like this. I'm going to try to get that knot at close to the end as possible, like that. And then we can just take it and put it right between the 2, like that, and it'll hang up nice. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue just in between the heads here, like that. Oops, sorry about that. And then I'm just going to take and push this in, and I'm going to use a little tool to help me just to poke it down into that glue and make sure it's where I want it. And that, my friends, is how easy it is to make the little Mary, Joseph, and baby Jesus ornament. And this would make a beautiful gift for somebody. This would be a great little thing to put onto a Christmas present, you know, beside the little tag, you know, you're to and you're from. I think it's just adorable, and I really hope that you enjoyed making this with me today. It's a fun little tutorial and something else you can do with your little Jenga blocks. So, what do you think? Are they adorable or what? I just think that they're just so much fun to make, and they're just such a quick and easy little project. Very cute on the tree. Thank you for joining me today on Krista So Crafty. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel and click on the bell to receive notification every time I upload a new video. I do upload videos every Thursday. Really hope you enjoyed this adorable little ornament that we made today. I'll pop some more videos up here for you to watch while you're waiting for me to upload a new video. Thank you again, and happy crafting.